going on? Mr. Dave on the Rock Pile. We are here in Del Mar, California in the year of our Lord 2021, the year when our whole country and the whole world seems to be going a little crazy, but we are staying chill and we are creating and being thankful and grateful as a great way to get through the madness of the time. So I want to talk to you guys about when we build our slides and stuff. We create a foundation, and then you're like wondering, how do we get the steel uprights in there? How do we get them to stay there and not just tip over when we fill them up? We've got fairly shallow footings here because there's lots of pipes and there's madness amount of palm tree roots that are a real nightmare. So let's talk about it and let's look through the strategy I use anyway. And you could use maybe other forms of staking, as it were, to take care of this problem if you like, but this is how I do it anyway. So let's talk about prepping for the steel uprights. So here's our slide starting point. This little circle right here might be a step. This area right here is going to be up where the platform is. The slide's going to then drop down into the slide trough and work its way around the corner and into the pool. And so what we do is we create stairs or terraces. That means the whole slide is on flat surfaces. It's not on the slope structurally at all. It's all being supported just by gravity pulling it straight down. That includes the trenches as well. There's little places where there's little terraces inside here. So even inside the trenches, it's not a slope perpendicular to the pitch of the dirt that we're working in, the landscape that we're working in. We actually make flat areas inside the trench as well. So the first step you want to do is create crisscross braces, and that's basically 2 pieces of rebar, just gently tapping the soil. You don't want to go too crazy if you hit something, because you might have a pipe underneath there. We had some Schedule 20 PVC sprinkler pipes that are so brittle and they break real easy, and you don't need these things going very hard and very far. When you tie wire them together, they're pretty stiff. So you get those and you place them around and above your holes, your trench that you want to have. So there's one over there. After you put these crisscrosses in there, you put a piece of rebar and you bend it and try and get it to just basically be directly above your footing. So we've got that here. You just look down from the top. And so what that means is that once we have this here, we're going to get concrete, put it down in the hole, and then we're not going to set these on the dirt. We're going to set them in the concrete a little bit above, and then we're going to put a tie wire right here. So this keeps this thing from falling around and flopping. If you have a really deep trench, it's maybe a foot, you can just set these in if you keep your mud dry, and they'll stand straight up. But any movement, they'll start to move. So it's good to put this little support frame above. So you can hang these ahead of time, but if you have 2 lines of rebar to support your vertical uprights, you can do that. But with just one, you just wait till you get the mud in there, set these down in, then you tie wire them where they're kissing the rebar right here. I've already got one laid in here and tied off, so that's ready for mud. You can see it's off the ground. You don't want them touching the dirt. Dirt means rust, so we don't want your rebar ever to rust. So this simply goes around and covers. You can see I got it kind of over the hole. You can see I'm kind of over the trench, or which is the footing. And so this stuff is pretty darn good, and even if they're at a little bit of angle, you're gonna have the ability to bend and shape these things out. So this again is the starting point for our slide. We're gonna have here, drop down and move around. We have trenches that are dug in, as well as the flat spots. We also put a trench there, so we have rebar coming up, we have rebar coming up the sides, and those are used to create the walls and the structure of the half pipe, which is what our slides are. They're half pipes, so you have a nice smooth ride when you go careening down them with laughter and glee. So this is our little starting position, and again, I just wanted to outline that we put these crisscrosses, you put a piece of rebar above it. We'll continue that one, it stops right there, but we're going to bring that on down when these other trenches are ready, and we'll just pour them all up, set in the rebar, tie it off right on that piece of supporting rebar, and you will be good to go. So there you go, Mr. Dave on the Rock Pile up here in Del Mar, talking about getting your rebar uprights for a slide. And it's really true for a boulder. If you're doing a boulder too, same thing, make a trench in a circle. You can do the rebar support thing with the crisscross if you want to. If it's a small rock and you make your mud thick enough, you can just jam them in there, pack the mud, and it'll sometimes hold the rebar just the way it is. These are 5-footers that we're putting in with a bend because the feature is going to go up in the air, and you can always bend over if the feature in fact has an edge that's much lower, and this can incorporate those into the slides, which is what I always do. So anyway, Mr. Dave here on the Rock Pile. Go to daverhenderson.com for blogs and links to my stuff and other platforms, and you can go to davehenderson.podia.com. I'm always doing my commercial at the end to check out free PDF downloads and other cool stuff, videos and stuff. Some little courses and a real big course also to teach everything I know pretty much about this stuff. If this is YouTube, make sure you subscribe and pound the like button, as I've heard people say. And give me a like. Give me a question if you have something that isn't clear. Do my best to answer your questions and get you all dialed in with whatever you're wanting to do. So thanks so much for watching my stuff. Remember to be grateful and forgiving. Get those two things dialed in and you'll be a happy camper and a blessing and not a curse to those who cross your path. And we need that. We need that. That's the answer really to a happy life. Become a master at gratitude and forgiveness. And it's good to get to know the Lord and his son Jesus. He's what you need in this life. We're not supposed to walk down this road all by ourselves. We need help and to carry our burdens and give them to him, really. So have a good one. Until next time, have a good day. Learn, grow, become, as I like to say. And God bless you all out there. Love you guys. Follow my stuff. Appreciate your kind comments all the time. So have a good one. We'll see you next time. Bye.